to go over this bill, and then I will turn this over to Representative Nemes. We have guests who will be testifying as well, and he will introduce them. This bill, first of all, has gone through so many iterations from the beginning. And this version that you have before you tonight, the latest change was made last night even, so you have that committee sub. And these changes were made to show how we have been very willing to work with the stakeholders in this arena to try to put forth the best possible bill under the straightest, most stringent guidelines for our state, for our people. It is a bill which is the tightest of all of the 33 medical marijuana states, not recreational, medical marijuana. It is the tightest. The change we made last night was a change to one of 4 or 5 major changes, and let me just go through those quickly. One, as you know, there is no home grow in this bill at all. We have no smoking in this bill.
Oh, if you don't mind, if you would just
Sure.
give the committee 2 or 3 sentences on home grow.
So, sure, absolutely. So home grow was what we had in one of the versions of the bill, was the ability for some people to grow. At that point, it was 6 plants, mature plants, and 6 seedlings, and that they would be allowed legally to grow that so that they could have their own source. And this was done primarily for the folks in our more rural areas, in our areas that are not easily accessible to cities. It was also for more indigent folks because, as you will probably find out through the testimony, processing of marijuana increases the cost of this by 300–400%. So that was the purpose of why we had home grow in there.
And Mr. Chairman, we took that out, working with a number of members in the House of Representatives and the Senate, and also with law enforcement. We strongly believe in home grow as we sit at this table, but we understand it's one of the things that concessions had to be made. So that's one of the things that we've worked with CAECO and the police and so forth and so on.
And to alleviate that, what will create some difficulty for our people, say for instance in eastern Kentucky and in other more rural areas, we have set up part of a trust fund that would be dedicated to folks who would meet federal poverty guidelines and could receive a reduced price for what they would be purchasing. So that's how we try to compensate for removing the home grow from the bill. In addition to that, we have no state sales tax because our purpose is to help the individuals. This is a bill of compassion. There is no state sales tax on there. We were asked fairly recently, Mr. Chairman, to include UK, University of Kentucky, the medical school or parts of University of Kentucky in the yearly reporting, access to data that we have required in the bill, that there be yearly reporting to all of you, to the legislature. So that was an addition that was asked, and we have UK in there to work with the agency, which is the Public Protection Agency. We also, and very importantly, some people were concerned with THC levels. They can be very, very high, and folks were concerned that someone might be getting something much more than what they needed from the THC level. THC is very important as part of the entire, as part of the plant in treating a number of illnesses, but we understood that a very high level of THC might be problematic. And so what we have put in is what Ohio has, and Ohio is the only other state that has this in there. We have got limitations on the THC level, so we are ensured that it would be 35% of plant product. You could not have more than 35% THC in plant product, and you could not have more than 70% THC in processed product. So we put that in at the last minute. Also, some folks had raised objections to not having that in there. Our oral consumption is not more than 10 milligrams of THC per serving. That is also in there. There are a number of other things, obviously, that we wanted to touch upon, but I just wanted to set the record straight as far as what the latest changes have been to this bill. And I'm going to turn that over now to you and answer questions on down the road.